Welcome back to another episode of No Gossip, Just Talk. I'm your host, Solei, and today we're talking about gender roles. I want to have an honest conversation today because gender roles can become a sensitive subject. The moment somebody says what they believe a man should do or what they believe a woman should do, people start choosing sides. Some people believe strongly in traditional roles. Some people want nothing to do with them. Some people are still deciding what works for them. And I believe we can have different opinions without disrespecting each other. For me, gender roles should not automatically be expected, they should not be forced. Some people were raised in households where there was a clear understanding of what a man does and what a woman does. And then some of us grew up watching people suffer silently inside of roles they never really chose. So I want to come into this conversation with an open mind. This is not about attacking tradition. This is not about saying one is better than the other. This is about love, choice, respect, and understanding the difference between someone doing something from the heart and doing something because they feel pressured, controlled, or obligated. Because to me, that difference matters. A lot of times when people talk about gender roles, they make it sound like love has to come with a checklist. A man is supposed to do this. A woman is supposed to do that. He should pay all the bills. She should cook every meal. He should lead. She should follow. He should provide. She should nurture. And I understand where some of that comes from. I understand that for many people, gender roles are connected to culture, faith, family structure, upbringing, and personal values. And there is nothing wrong with two people agreeing on a dynamic that works for them. But the key word is agreeing. Because when love becomes a demand, it starts to feel less like love and more like labor. And when a person is forced into a role without being valued as a whole person, resentment can start growing in places where love was supposed to live. And we have to be honest about that because some people do not want a partner, they want a position filled. They want someone to cook, clean, provide, protect, submit, serve, pay, sacrifice, nurture, lead, follow, and perform. But they forget that behind all of those expectations is a human being with feelings, needs, dreams, wounds, limits, and a heart that also wants to be cared for. Now, I do believe in being catered to. Let me be clear about that. I believe you are deserving of softness. You are deserving of consideration. You are deserving of someone loving on you in ways that make you feel safe, seen, and appreciated. But I believe the best kind of catering comes from love, not force. There is something beautiful about someone wanting to make your plate because they know you had a long day. There is something beautiful about someone taking care of something before you even have to ask. Not because they are afraid of your attitude, but because they pay attention to you. There is something beautiful about someone saying, "Let me handle that," because they want to make your life a little easier. That kind of love feels different. It does not feel like control. It does not feel like pressure. It does not feel like somebody keeping score. It feels like warmth. And that is what I think we should be leaning into more. Because when someone loves you in a healthy way, sometimes they naturally want to do things for you. Not because you demanded it, not because you told them this is your role, but because your presence inspires care. Your love creates a safe place. Your energy makes them want to pour back into you. And that is powerful because forced love is not the same as chosen love. Anybody can do something because they feel like they have to. But when someone does something because they want to, because their heart is in it, because they value you, because they see you, that is a whole different kind of intimacy. And we have to stop confusing obligation with devotion. Sometimes people will say, well, if they loved me, they would do this. And sometimes that may be true. But we also have to ask ourselves, are we asking from love or are we demanding from entitlement? Because there is a difference between having standards and having control issues. There is a difference between wanting to be loved well and expecting someone to lose themselves trying to prove they love you. That is where accountability comes in. We can want care without becoming demanding. We can want effort without becoming ungrateful. We can want partnership without turning love into a performance review. And that is where maturity has to enter the conversation. Because love is not just about what someone does for us, it is also about how we make someone feel while they are doing it. Do they feel appreciated? Do they feel respected? Do they feel like their efforts matter? Do they feel safe enough to be honest when they are tired? Do they feel like they can say, I need help too, without being judged? Because sometimes people want traditional roles, but they do not want traditional responsibility. They want someone to perform a role, but they do not want to create the environment where that role can be carried with joy. And we have to talk about that because if we are saying a man should provide, are we also creating a space where he can be emotionally honest and not be treated like he is weak? If we are saying a woman should nurture, are we also making sure she is being poured into and not drained dry? If we are saying someone should lead, are we also talking about whether they are leading with wisdom, humility, and love, or are they just trying to control? If we are saying someone should submit, are we asking whether they feel safe, honored, and protected, or are we expecting silence? Because words like lead, serve, provide, nurture, and support can be beautiful when they are rooted in love, but they can become harmful when they are rooted in ego. And that is why I believe gender roles should not be expected as a requirement. They should be discussed, they should be chosen, they should be respected, they should be built between two people who understand each other, not forced because society said this is how it's supposed to be. Because every relationship is different. Some women love cooking for their partner, some women don't. Some men love paying for everything. Some men need partnership in that area. Some couples are traditional. Some couples are modern. Some couples are a mix of both. And honestly, if it works for them, if it is healthy, if it is respectful, if both people feel valued, then that is their business. The problem begins when we start shaming people for choosing differently. The problem begins when we tell people they are not woman enough or man enough because they do not fit into a role that somebody else created for them. The problem begins when we confuse someone's worth with their ability to perform. Because you are more than what you do. You are not only valuable because you can cook. You are not only valuable because you pay bills. You are not only valuable because you clean. You are not only valuable because you provide. You are not only valuable because you nurture everybody else. You are valuable because you are you. And the right kind of love should not make you feel like you have to earn basic respect through constant performance. Now, let's be honest. Relationships do require effort. We cannot use this conversation as an excuse to be selfish, lazy, inconsiderate, or emotionally unavailable because love still requires showing up. Love still requires service. Love still requires sacrifice sometimes. Love still requires us to care about what makes the other person feel loved. But again, the spirit behind it matters. Are we doing things with love or are we doing them with resentment? Are we asking with kindness or are we demanding with pride? Are we serving from the heart or are we performing to keep peace? Because a lot of people are functioning in relationships, but they are not flowing in love. They are doing what they are supposed to do, but they are emotionally disconnected. They are checking boxes, but they are not feeling appreciated. They are playing roles, but they are not experiencing partnership. And that is why we have to go deeper than gender roles. We have to ask, what does love look like in this relationship? What does support look like for us? What makes us both feel respected? What makes us both feel safe? What are our strengths? Where do we need balance? Because maybe one person is better at finances. Maybe one person is better at cooking. Maybe one person is more organized. Maybe one person is more emotionally expressive. Maybe one person has more capacity in one season, and the other person has to carry more in another season. That is real life. And real love has to be flexible enough to handle real life because life changes. Jobs change, health changes, money changes, energy changes, family responsibilities change, mental health changes. And if the relationship is only built on fixed roles and not genuine partnership, then what happens when one person cannot perform the way they used to? Do we stop loving them? Do we stop respecting them? Do we make them feel less valuable? That is why the foundation has to be deeper than roles. The foundation has to be love, respect, communication, grace, and accountability. Because when the foundation is love, we can have conversations without making each other feel attacked. When the foundation is respect, we can disagree without devaluing each other. When the foundation is communication, we can say what we need without expecting the other person to read our mind. When the foundation is grace, we can understand that nobody is perfect. And when the foundation is accountability, we can admit when our expectations are unfair, selfish, or rooted in wounds, we have not healed yet. Because sometimes we are not asking for love. We are asking someone to make up for what we never received. Sometimes we are not asking for partnership. We are asking for proof that we are finally worthy. Sometimes we are not asking for support. We are asking for control because we are afraid of being disappointed. And that is where healing has to happen. Because when we do not heal, we can turn our pain into expectations. We could start saying a real man would never, or a real woman should always, when really we are speaking from hurt, fear, disappointment, or survival. And I get it. A lot of us have seen imbalance. A lot of us have seen women give everything and received nothing. A lot of us have seen men carry pressure silently and feel like nobody cares unless they are providing. A lot of us have seen relationships where one person was overworked, underappreciated, and emotionally abandoned. So, yes, people are tired. People want to feel loved. People want to feel safe. People want to feel like they are not being used. But healing teaches us how to ask for what we need without punishing someone for what someone else did. That is the growth. Because we cannot keep making new people pay old debts. And we cannot build healthy relationships using unhealthy expectations. So when I say gender roles should not be expected, I am not saying people should not do loving things for each other. I am saying love should not feel like a contract someone was forced to sign without reading. It should be a conversation. It should be mutual. It should be chosen. It should be done with care. Because when someone caters to you from love, it feels like peace. And when you cater to someone from love, it should not make you feel small. It should not make you feel used. It should not make you feel trapped. It should feel like an expression of what is already alive between you. That is the beauty of it. The right person can bring out softness in you without demanding it. The right person can bring out generosity in you without manipulating it. The right person can bring out patience, care, effort, and tenderness because their love creates room for it. And that is different from someone walking into your life with a list of requirements, but no emotional intelligence, no gratitude, no accountability, and no willingness to pour back into you. Because let's be real, you cannot demand royal treatment while giving bare minimum energy. You cannot expect someone to serve you with love while you treat them like they are replaceable. You cannot expect someone to naturally want to cater to you if you make them feel unseen, unheard, and unappreciated. Love has to be watered both ways. And that does not always mean everything is 50-50 every single day. Sometimes it is 70-30. Sometimes it is 60-40. Sometimes one person has to carry a little more because the other person is going through something. But the heart of it should still be mutual. Both people should feel like I matter here. Both people should feel like my effort is seen. Both people should feel like I can be honest here. Both people should feel like This love is not just taking from me, it is also feeding me. This is what we want, not just roles, not just titles, not just looking good to other people. We want love that feels safe behind closed doors. Because sometimes people look traditional in public and miserable in private. Sometimes people look modern in public and deeply connected in private. And that is why we cannot judge the health of a relationship by the roles we see. We have to look at the respect, the communication, the joy, the peace, the honesty, and the way both people treat each other when nobody is watching. That tells the real story. So if you are someone who believes in gender roles, there is nothing wrong with that. Just make sure it is rooted in love and agreement, not control and entitlement. And if you are someone who does not believe in gender roles, there is nothing wrong with that either. Just make sure you are still showing up with care, effort, and consideration. Because no matter what dynamic you choose, love still requires maturity. Love still requires kindness, patience, self awareness. Love still requires us to ask, am I creating a space where someone wants to love me well? Or am I demanding love while giving pressure? That question right there can change a lot. Because the goal is not to force somebody to cater to us. The goal is to become the kind of person who knows how to receive love with gratitude and give love with intention. The goal is to build something where both people feel honored. The goal is to understand that being loved well is not about controlling someone's role. It is about creating a connection where care flows naturally. And when care flows naturally, nobody has to beg for it. Nobody has to force it. Nobody has to keep reminding someone to be considerate because love pays attention. Love notices. Love responds. Love gives. Love adjusts. Love says, I see you and I want to make life better with you, not harder for you. That is the kind of love worth building. So, here are my takeaways. Gender roles should not be used as a weapon. They should not be used to shame, control, or measure someone's worth. If two people choose a traditional dynamic, let it be because both people feel loved, respected, and fulfilled in it. If two people choose a different kind of dynamic, let that be respected. Because the real question is not who's supposed to do what. The real question is, are we loving each other well? Are we communicating? Are we showing appreciation? Are we being fair? Are we being honest? Are we creating peace? Are we making room for each other to be human? Because when love is healthy, the things we do for each other do not feel like a burden all the time. They feel like care. They feel like intention. They feel like I got you and we got us. And that is the energy we are keeping. We are not demanding love. We are not forcing roles. We are not performing for approval. We are choosing love that is intentional, mature, mutual, and rooted in respect. And we are remembering that we are deserving of being catered to, not because we demanded it, but because the love we give, the peace we bring, the way we show up, and the connection we build inspires someone to want to love us well. All right, that's it for today's episode. Thank you for tuning in to No Gossip, Just Talk. I'm your host, Solei. Make sure you subscribe, share the show, and stick around for more episodes to come. Now, before I go, check out my book series, If Only I Had a Home. It is close to my heart and opens conversations around mental health, bullying, family secrets, and the struggles we often keep hidden. You can find it on Amazon along with my other books or through my link tree at No Gossip Just Talk. And stay connected because I have more books and music coming your way. Until next time, ciao for now.